Wake me up when November comes or ends.
Ends.
That's what was spoken by the late Green Day. You know they say late, and that means they're dead.
Yes, I do know that. Do you also know that
if they're early, are they not born yet? Like
I know. I'm with you.
If somebody's pregnant, it's like, oh yeah, you're early baby.
Did Green Day die?
No.
I just said it as a figure of speech.
Now I want to make sure you know this. The song is "Wake Me Up When September Ends."
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the same page.
I know that. Yeah, I was
Wake Me Up
doing
When
a
November Ends is something else.
When's that?
You don't know about that yet.
I thought you were talking about seasonal depression because it's now dark at 4:30 p.m. every day.
It's very dark here on the East Coast. Very chilly.
On the East Coast.
We live in the Midwest.
Are we in the Midwest?
We're technically
We're
Midwest.
like literally in the
We're
Midwest.
in the same time zone as New York. We're East Coast.
We're in Southwest Ohio, my brother.
I've never saw myself that way. I've always saw myself as East Side of the world. Yeah,
Well, we're
of
the
America.
East half of the country.
I relate more to Chicago than I do New York. That's like my best definition.
What do you consider to be the East Coast?
From Ohio and Cincinnati on.
So you think
we're on the outer
Kentucky?
skirts.
You think Kentucky's East Coast?
You think West Virginia is East Coast?
They're the east side of the. They're the east
Wait,
side
now
of the
we're
country.
going through it.
Okay, coast is different than
We're the eastern part.
We're the eastern part. You
Of
got to
the
give me
US.
that. I've always saw that.
if you drew a line through the middle of the country, we're on the east half.
Yes. Yeah.
And I
Okay.
understand that St. Louis
And
is
I've
the
just-
gateway to the west, but being on the east half is different than being on the east coast.
See, even St. Louis said it. They said it's the gate to the west.
To the west, to the west side
West
of the
side.
country.
So I'm not being called Midwest. Call me East.
East
Okay.
only. Make
Okay.
my logistics side of me crawl a little bit, but whatever works for you.
What do you consider to be Midwest? Because that is literally what we're called.
Left of St. Louis, because now that you told me that, I'm just going to hang on that.
It's called Midwest because it's the western side of the middle of the country.
No,
That's the left.
But now you just gave him ammo.
You gave me ammo, and
because he said, "Here's my line," and says that's the gate to the west, and we're talking middle of the west.
If you play that back, you can see my eyebrows raised because it's like I got.
I could tell, like you instantly
clicked.
the gun got loaded. For
Yeah.
you. That was fun.
Probably west of St. Louis, because they are the gateway to the west.
That was
Welcome to the DweeBros Podcast. We are located on the east side of the country. Some may say the Midwest. Beggars can't be choosers.
good. It cannot be.
But we are here to talk about the world of gaming. You thought I was going to be like the world, getting into politics. No. The world of gaming. The world of TV shows. The strike is over. The movies are back.
Virtual experience.
Virtual experiences are back. I had quite the virtual experience this past week. If you've used Facebook Marketplace,
That's a great place.
a lot of people were using eBay. I feel like a lot of people...
Can I just say, I invented Facebook Marketplace before it existed.
Okay.
I had an app idea with
you?
our friend Alex, and you can ask Alex, he'll validate this. Before Facebook
Okay.
Marketplace, it was when Tinder came out, and I said, people should make Tinder for selling stuff.
Ooh.
And you would say, I'm selling
want
this.
that. And
And
you
you would
swipe.
swipe, no, I don't want these ones, but I do want this one.
That's
and we
actually
had
smart.
it kind of like sandboxed
They still don't have
out.
that, so I'd
We
maybe
had it
keep that zip. They don't really have that.
We had it sandboxed out, and we even talked about, hey, we probably don't have the infrastructure to make this scale, but we should make something good and sell it to an Amazon. We talked about we might sell it to an Amazon or something like that.
Oh, wow.
And then I got busy doing this shit.
Now you're here talking about, are we really on the east side of the country?
He
So,
truly
for what
could have
that's
been.
worth, go ahead.
So you
Facebook
chose
Market.
He
this
could have been the
instead.
father of Marketplace.
He
Wow.
could have been.
You really could have.
Maybe
No,
maybe there's still something in my future.
Yeah, I'll cut this part out right here. No. So a lot of people moved to Marketplace. I see a lot of people on there buying and selling because a lot of people had, I think, crappy experiences over the years with eBay.
Yeah.
Like, I use it a ton. I use eBay a ton still, but there's a lot of people, and I'm like, they're like, where can I sell this before Marketplace came out? And they're like, where can I sell this? And I'm always like, eBay. And they're like, they look at me like,
In my
there's
opinion,
no way I'm doing that.
I always think of eBay being a scam. I
lot of
trust
people got
Marketplace
scammed,
more
yeah.
than I do eBay.
I always heard, like as a kid growing up, like, ooh, be careful if you're buying something on eBay.
Yeah.
Be very careful. Yeah, it's not going to work out.
I think things are better now, but I get that people are still freaked out. So, I use Marketplace to sell, like, bigger stuff I need to get rid of. Like, I'm not listing a big bike and putting it on eBay. It's just not going to happen. But locally, marketplace, I'll use it for. So I put something on a Facebook marketplace. I put a bike. $25.
Simple.
Because I just want to get rid of it. That is, for this area, and I don't know what the bike economy in the world is where you're at. We're on the east side of the country. Maybe on the west.
Once you go cold over here.
Once you go through that west, the gateway to the west, I don't know what you're paying for bikes. But that's a great price. I think like 50 is kind of like a good price, 60, 70.
Especially if it's a Huffy.
For used bikes and stuff, whatever. So I put it at 25, like I just need to get rid of it. It's in our way, in our garage. We're done with this bike. Put it for $25. And I get an inquiry. This guy says, will you do a trade? Okay.
I love trades.
Okay. And I'm looking at it because I don't want to trade. I just want $25.
Everybody wants to trade.
Yeah, but if it's like multiple hundreds of dollars, I see the trade. You know what I mean? Like I get like people want to like.
Yeah, because they want to try to get the value down. Cash.
Yeah, and then they cash with the rest. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
But $25 are like, you want to trade? I'm like, ugh, whatever. So I kind of ignore the message, and he immediately sends back like, I've got antiques, I've got Xboxes.
Ooh.
I've got, lamps, antique lamps, or whatever. He starts naming stuff. So I'm seeing these messages come through. And then he writes back, or if you want to F around, we can do that too. If you're up for that. I think it was like, if you're up for that. And I'm staring at that message. Oh no, he said, here's what it was, sorry. If you want to F around, I'm willing to do that.
You almost have to put a screenshot of it on the screen so I can
Maybe I will,
in real time.
If you want to F around, I'm willing to do that. And I saw that message, and it just, I was in shock. I mean, it killed me. And then I saw that, and that was the last thing he put, and I'm staring at it, and I'm so flabbergasted. I'm looking at this message, and I'm like, what do I like? Now, a normal person might be like, I'm going to block this person. You know what I mean? Like,
oh, yeah. You're like, move on.
What did I do? I'm
thumbs
so
upped it.
flabbergasted that I send back, sorry, cash only. So,
this economy is broken.
I was just so flabbergasted I replied that, but then I was like, why the heck did I reply to this guy?
So the real question would have been,
but why,
how far would it have gone for $25?
Well, I just wanted to say I'm going to miss that bike,
You should text me back. Let me see a picture of this lamp.
Yeah, dude. Like, what lamp?
What kind of
lamp?
lamp?
Yeah, what kind of lamp we got?
No, I was shocked by that. But I think the most shocking thing, if I would have put that bike or I had some other item for like 200 plus, and they would have said that, it's like, okay, I get it.
Oh, so that 200's your price for sex.
Well, no, I get.
Oh, that's what you were alluding to.
I get that you're offering your body for this item.
Yeah,
$200 plus, but for $25, for $25,
not really anymore.
You don't need to give me all these MSNBC articles, inflations at this. The guy trying to do sexual acts for a $25 bike, I was like, we're in bad straits.
I think next time you go on eBay, you just need to post it $25. Or best
or
oral
if you want to
offer.
F around.
Yeah, or you want to F around. One of those two. Maybe eBay will get more hits that way.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That was, I did end up selling the bike to somebody for $25. So.
I'm glad you had to make sure that was clear to us.
And when I went to grab it, they held on to it and was like, do you want to do or something else?
Yeah.
I was like, just give me the 25.
I would have been scared. Just a little scared.
But that was Facebook Marketplace. So be careful.
Dirty after that story. Like it's grinding.
I've never been offered.
And it's not like this guy does this for a living because he offered the other things first.
Yeah.
This was like.
I think he just really wanted the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah. He really wanted the bike.
Maybe he should have raised the price up a little bit more.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like, well, maybe this is a rare bike. I'll be offering this. This also reminds me. I had my grandpa took my grandma to go get her hair done. She likes to get her hair done. Well, in the place where this is in our city or whatever, where he does like drops her off at, there are prostitutes in the area. And one day, we always laugh at my grandpa for the story, dropped my grandma off, and immediately and he looks, and there's a prostitute tapping on like roll like, are you here to stop for that? You know what I mean? Because he just pulled up, and it's like, and he just gave the ugliest face of like, get out, you know what I mean? Because my grandpa is such an esteemed guy, just very, very traditional. And it's
She
like,
maybe thought, never mind, I don't want to make that joke. That's terrible. Poor taste. That was awful.
But yeah, just sex, man. It can get you stuff.
You know, people say $70 video games are too expensive.
Yeah.
I mean, if a $25 bike is going for that, like, I don't know, man.
Well, one's, a 15 to 20 hour experience. The other one may be 3 to 7 minutes.
If a sex,
there's a difference.
Let's say it was this, I'm gonna assume probably a BJ from this guy, right?
Okay, so $25.
That's around probably
And that's
the case.
$25,
Yeah.
and video games are $70. That is 3 blowjobs to play the new Spider-Man on PlayStation.
Well, here's
5.
the deal. And
I don't like the trade.
There was a piece of news that I didn't even have on our list today, but I was reminded of it today. Take-Two CEO was talking to the board.
Okay.
And he was explaining that he thinks the game
yeah.
shouldn't be a flat number. There is a formula by how many minutes you play the game. You should be charged hourly. Like, you should be charged hourly for a game.
Yeah.
What?
And I just was like, man, we are going down a dark path right now. Like, he's just openly talking to the board about this. Like, he dreamed up this perfect formula.
Yeah. Well, who is he, like, head of the board or whatever?
Like head of the board or CEO.
Because I wonder how much these people they're probably not playing games often.
what
That's what I'm saying. I think that if you are on the outside looking in and they're showing their financials and they're like, yeah, we spent $2 billion, it's like, it's a $70 product. You know what I mean? Like, maybe to them it is kind of clown world of like, what are we doing like for that much? Like, but it's just always been this way. And I think they have done stuff with like free to play and you can buy skins. Like, that's a new revenue stream. But for what they're doing, it's like you can't do that to a single player game. Like, you can't do an hourly thing. That's just not going to ever fly. That will never fly in a million years.
A good thing they're going to stick to other things.
And the reason also is because the real problem isn't necessarily money, it's time. People don't have the time to play these massive games. So, like, there's games that are probably fine that I don't even try to play because I don't have time for that at all.
Yeah,
so you tell me you maybe pay hourly to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
that's such a commitment. I'm out on that. 100% out.
Yeah.
I guess speaking of Take-Two.
And GTA, we have, I think, a trailer. I mean, they said December.
Oh, we're getting
They announced the game. And did they announce it before?
They announced it with just text. They just said, hey, it's coming.
And that's all they need to do. They just need to put the GTA and then the Roman numeral, and you would have got people losing their minds.
They said trailer in December.
Yeah.
How long has it been? How long has it been since the last
2013.
Yeah.
2013. So you're telling me it's been a decade.
It's like May of 2013.
One of the best-selling games of darn near, I don't think, it's not of all time, right?
It's definitely one of the best games.
Yeah, it's up
over
there.
100 million
units. Yeah, mind-blowing. And it's like, how do you get better than this? I guess that's the question I ask. Like,
I think they can do much better than GTA 5.
Oh, yeah. I think so. After Red Dead Redemption 2 and seeing the technology there, it's like, I cannot wait to see what they've got with GTA
I just
6.
want to imagine our friend group jumping into a GTA server and them having built-in role-playing. That's all I want to imagine.
Yeah, because there was a lot of fun role-playing stuff.
But that developed on the later half of GTA. What, do you not like that?
I mean, I'm sure it'd be fun. I'm looking forward to a single-player experience for the next GTA.
Oh, really? See,
yeah,
I think
I've always played those.
I think I'm in on the multiplayer aspect of it right now.
I didn't get into any of the multiplayer on GTA 5.
And I kind of regret it.
Yeah, and that's like a thing. I was like, oh, maybe I should have, because it looks. I mean, people spent so much time.
I think they're really going to lean into that.
We tried earlier this year, and we played for an hour and a half and couldn't find it. We could not get to a part.
It was a tutorial that went on for 2 hours. Like,
really?
Maybe just let me just die.
Alex, and Kenny, we tried this bank heist for hours.
You got farther than us.
They made this so hard.
So then we gave up and went to the casino and spent the next 2 hours in the casino.
Oh, I bet you liked the casino.
I had a lot of fun in the casino. It was I was trying to teach Alex the concept of blackjack. Yeah. But I'm excited about GTA 6.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. I'm just going to dive into the multiplayer aspect of it.
So I think we're going to see it. They said December, but guess what's in December? We'll talk about it now. Game Awards, baby.
Yeah.
I think that is
Ding,
going to
ding,
be.
ding, 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 ding.
That is a perfect time to show that. I think that is 100%.
It's going to make it the most watched Games Awards of all time.
And I hope that they have Joseph Ferris come out.
He's the one that announces it.
He announces it.
That would
GTA effing 6. F you, Oscars. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. We will be streaming live if you want to check us out December 7th next week.
Yeah.
It's a Thursday. No hangouts. We'll be streaming the Game Awards. I think it starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, I think.
Eastern.
Yes,
The East half.
East side where we're at. Yeah, looking forward to
Technically, he's wrong.
that.
There's two, but...
No, I'm right.
Well, I mean, let me ask you guys. So the Game Awards are coming up. That's kind of E3 now.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I mean, like, that's where
that is the only event that is really worth
people are hanging out for and producing
streaming
and showing
talking
stuff out
about.
on.
So
Outside of
guys-
like a direct, but this is the only live event
Okay.
of the whole year.
Yeah, I
Like,
agree. All the
stuff.
goofy, funny, Konami.
I mean, last year we
E3,
had the Bill Clinton
Bill Clinton.
kid.
Yeah,
We did have
I'm
the Bill
hoping-
Clinton
and
kid.
that's where we got the Joseph Ferris stuff. So I always look forward to this.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
There's always something, and then that guy's speech last time was like 18. He won like a world. It was a
my
world
God,
record.
The God of War guy.
Yeah.
He would not stop talking.
That was a world record, like longest speech that they've ever.
So bad.
That was killing me too. But
I always laugh every year about this time, and he just did it again. Jeff will tweet out, what advice or recommendations or improvements do you guys want to see this year at the Game Awards? He always does it here. I just saw it today.
after
yesterday.
everything's already
This sucker-
said.
And I
playing.
laugh every time because I'm like, this is already finished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, why? What are you
Maybe,
doing?
maybe it's already set in stone. He's talking about next year. I don't know.
I saw a lot of people say security.
Dude, yeah, you gotta have.
They gotta
Well,
beef
there
that
is
up.
one thing though that has become a bit of a controversy. Do you guys know what Dave the Diver is?
I think I've seen this. There was a controversy about is it really indie?
Yeah,
What's indie?
there's the indie game category, and this game, Dave the Diver, got nominated. If you look at it, it is like pixel art and stuff. It's got some really cool animation.
If it's pixel art, it's indie.
But here's the thing: it is the development team is named. I don't know what their name. It's like starts with an M. It's not a known name, but they are a small team within a $1.8 billion
Oh
company.
yeah, that's not indie.
Oh.
And they are a giant Korean. Like they make tons of games. So
Okay.
like big games. So people are like really debating about this, and I've seen a lot of people say different things. Like, well, it's like sometimes indie's more like a style than
Yeah.
I would like to see it not be
Yeah.
like, but then it gets weird because it's like, well, is Larry an indie? Because like they are self-published, or is CD Projekt Red indie? They're not with a major publisher.
I think if it's like independently funded and independently developed, then I would say yes.
yeah.
But when it's something that's like they could have received outside funding from a company that maybe is larger or a bigger publisher, not an indie.
Well, almost a lot of the indies that we play are like the cool kid indies.
Yeah.
A lot of them are getting money from like
Yeah.
Sony
Oh, sure.
and
I'm
stuff like
sure.
that. So like it's just interesting. Like I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird, and I thought it was an interesting debate.
Yeah, I have no clue about that because in my head I'm like, if the game is something theoretically a smaller studio could make, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I don't know.
Obviously, the only thing we got to cover is our Game of the Year predictions. We all have to put it in stone, which is
Who
this
do
podcast
we think is going
right
to
now.
win?
Who we think will win at the Game Awards?
Yes,
Yes.
at the Game Awards.
It is 1,000% Baldur's Gate.
I think it is.
100,000.
You
If
don't
it's
think
not Spider-Man, they're wrong.
Okay.
That's the truth.
Good luck to you, buddy.
And I'm telling you right now, Baldur's Gate, they
Better
can
roll
go
the
roll
dice
dice
on
in the
that.
alley.
You want to put some
All right.
money down on that?
How much?
I'll bet you $100 Baldur's
100
Gate is
smackaroonies?
I want to make
This
it
is gonna be
higher,
easy.
but I'll feel bad. So I'm
How
gonna
high?
make
Name the price.
Dude,
I got a blank check. You name it right now. What would you name?
I'm going to make the money, so I don't want to do that. I will do $100.
But how high would you name it?
I would put down
Taking
a
our
lot of
friendship
money.
aside.
I'd probably go $10,000.
I would honestly
10
I would
Gs?
seriously think about 10 Gs. Yeah.
There's no way.
I don't have. I don't
I'd
have.
smack the under.
You really think this?
I also have a crippling gambling addiction, so I can't really talk in this terms.
I can't
but
take advantage of you. On
that's what I
this.
mean. But I'm not gonna make the bet.
That'd be an awesome next podcast.
I feel
just
extremely
in your Gucci
confident,
suit.
but if it has to be, it's going to end up being Baldur's Gate. It sucks, but it shouldn't be. But Tears of the Kingdom probably will be second place.
Why do you say that sucks? Have you played Baldur's Gate?
I have it in my ref. I want to play it, but yeah,
Okay.
I don't have played it yet.
Well, I know my opinion's well founded because I'm actually playing like over half of these games right now.
Well, how's Baldur's Gate?
So yeah, I'm playing right now. But you know, like in
is that the game that my wife said? Travis apparently, Jessica said he's playing a game where you're choosing the design of your penis.
Yes. And it was like penis B, D, E, F, like, and I'm sorry.
And I told her, I was like, I think it's
I had to go
Gate.
through 4 of them before there were any that were circumcised. So like, I'm scrolling through.
I told her, I was like, oh yeah, he's probably playing the new Mario Brothers Wonder.
Yeah, the game of the year.
Yeah, it was Baldur's Gate. So yeah, I'm playing. You know, in the movies where like someone was frozen for like forever, and they're waking up and they're trying to get caught up on everything. That's how I feel right now because I didn't play anything this year. I played a little bit of Armored Core and like 20 hours of Tears of the Kingdom. Yeah. That's it. So I'm catching up on a lot right now. But yeah, I started Baldur's Gate. I played like the prologue. That game is really awesome. I really like it. Here's the thing. Here's why I think it's so good. When you play D&D, and if you're watching this, I play D&D with different people. One of the things that's hard is it can get very self-serious. Oh, my backstory is I'm this long forgotten prince, and blah, 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 and it's like very serious, right? These characters, when you go to make a character, you can make a character, or you can pick from some origin characters. You watch their intros, and it's I was held prisoner by a vampire, and I'll be the last thing he sees. I'm gonna kill. Like, they play this stuff up so much that you're laughing, and like these characters are like, they're fun. It's very. I actually really like this. You go to do something, and the game's like, roll the dice, and it's like, oh, will this work or not? I really enjoy that part of it too. Yeah. So it's cool. I am not very far into it, but it is a really, really good game. I think it's going to be a great experience to play.
I'm telling you right now, it's a winter game for me. I will be playing it. I love Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah.
That's why I waited a little while to get it.
I have a friend who's 180 hours into that game.
Yeah, I could see this seems like the type of game that you could just play for.
Was the other Baldur's Gates like this?
Well, Baldur's Gate 1 and 2 came out like a long time ago.
Like
these were like
ever.
Early 2000s, like 2001, 2002.
Were they on PS2?
There may have been a weird port, but they were PC games.
Okay.
They are like top-down PC RPG games. Yeah. So, like, those were, like, you would tell your little people, like, where to go and, like, how to fight, and then you could pause. It was, like, real time with pause. This is, like, XCOM, like, turn-based. Like, you move the people around and stuff.
It's different. It's
I don't
cool
know.
Take.
The only... I could be wrong. I think it's on PS2 they had a Baldur's Gate. And my dad
there was
played
an action, like...
And it was action. So, like, when I saw this and saw it was all these dice stuff, I was like, this is...
You're like, what's this?
Baldur's Gate is Dungeons and Dragons. They were always Dungeons and Dragons.
It's a Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Baldur's Gate is a Dungeons.
It exists in that universe.
It's a city in Dungeons.
Yeah, so it's official Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, your perception. That would be like somebody seeing like that weird pirate Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah,
and being like confused when they see like Skyrim. Like, what is this? What are these stats?
Yep.
Like, Elder Scrolls is a pirate game. Like Redguard or whatever that was on the PS2. Yeah, no, it's always been very stats and all that kind of stuff. So. It's really cool. I don't have a lot else to say because I'm not very far into it. But a couple other things. I've been playing the crap out of Tears of the Kingdom. I like it a lot. I think I've talked about it on the podcast where I was very frustrated with
Me and you both were in the hate camp.
Yeah. I don't hate it. I like it a lot more. I did the electric temple or the wind temple.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, or I did the desert thing, and I've done a lot more of the underground stuff. I got the auto build thing, and
auto build's clutch.
That's very, very key. The one thing with this game that is annoying to me is I will spend 5-10 minutes building some weird monstrosity, and then like I'll die, and then when I load the save, I saved with it, it's gone. You cannot save.
I had that happen to me too.
So I used all these resources, and then you load, and you don't have the resources. You use them, and the thing.
I will say, I used, because I never updated my game, I used the dupe glitch to dupe all the resources. Okay. And that really actually was more fun to me.
Well, yeah, because otherwise I can build one really cool thing, and then I'm out of Zonite. I got to go.
Exactly. So duping actually really upped my enjoyment with the game
playing this.
So I've not updated the game.
Non-Switch version of my game. I have realized the sandbox end of it is more fun than the actual story end of it.
Okay.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
So doing what he did makes the game way more fun when you can just...
Because I just need to get Zonite because I'm building a lot of stuff.
Not only that, my Gundam needed wings, and I don't have time to grind for the wings. So I needed to just dupe it and get my wings.
Yeah, I don't tend to frick around with glitches, but I could see where that is helpful.
Yeah.
I didn't know if people had some freaking little amiibo or something they'd use to get more Zonite.
You could use an amiibo, but they have timers.
I just, I like the game. I think it's good. I do have some of the same things in the back of my head. What's hard for me is here's what it is, okay?
Uh-oh.
When you're a kid, Halloween is incredible.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you get all this candy.
100%.
Right? So Breath of the Wild is like Halloween as a kid.
Okay.
You get all this candy. Tears of the Kingdom is like Halloween as an adult. Okay? You can buy your own candy. You buy a ton of candy and you can have it out, but the wonder isn't there as much.
But now you have to build your own costume.
But you get to have adult fun. You get to go to a spooky party. You get to have more fun,
yeah.
you know? And so I can't help. Every Halloween I'm having fun. We're going to we're doing our party. We're doing stuff. But I'm always like, man, it's also fun to be a kid. And I struggle with that of like Breath of the Wild is definitively worse than Tears of the Kingdom on a lot of the mechanical things.
Yeah.
I will grant that. You can't buy your own candy in Breath of the
Yeah.
Wild. But it was magic.
It was more...
Every moment of that game was magic.
Captured it in a bottle and you're just there to remember.
It was more of a fresh experience than Tears of the Kingdom. That is the one thing, definitely Beers of the Wild.
Beers of the Wild.
Beers of the Wild, dude, this Saturday.
IPAs,
IPAs. I got the Tears of the Kingdom IPA.
Yeah. I feel like a teenager, like when I was walking around like with my friends the last couple Halloweens when I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom a little bit.
But,
like I have done this. I've been here. I've saved your town multiple times. Yeah. I'm here for that.
I did like the new changes they did.
They're good. They're good.
Yeah. I liked the twist of the towns and what they did.
I'm not
with you.
Challenging that. But all that said, I'm liking it.
Good.
So the other game, because I've been playing like Cocoon, which is a cool indie game. I recommend it, but it's just a cool puzzle game. I've been playing Metroid Prime Remastered. That game's cool. I'm just super late to the party. I don't know what to say. One last game though that I'm playing that is fantastic is Alan Wake 2. And
that's a game of the year candidate.
That game is definitely a game of the year.
That's crazy. That's a game of the year.
I don't think so at all.
Well, I'm just saying I would have never called that in the past. Like, oh, they're going to make a new Alan Wake.
I've had people talking about this and people who normally don't play games talking about
this game is like unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it's not just the story or the visual. I mean, number one, it has the best cinematography visually of anything I've witnessed, and I don't even know how long. It is so cool looking. It is like True Detective meets X-Files meets Twin Peaks for sure is always a big influence, but Twin Peaks Return, like the turn that Twin Peaks did from Twin Peaks to Twin Peaks Return, this show does from Alan Wake. It's a different tone. It's
different
definitely
style.
Yeah, and the main character is a different person, and Alan is more on the fringes of the story. He's kind of going through a different thing, and the mystery they're setting up with that, and there's like mysteries. In Twin Peaks: The Return when there's that body.
Yeah.
And then they're like, you go on forever, and then you find out who that is. You're like, oh my god, this game does things like that with the first game, where you're going and you're playing, you're like, oh shoot, that is crazy, and it is tense, and you're a detective. The main character.
Is it scary?
It's definitely a little scarier than the first one. I think that I would recommend you would try to play it either.
Okay.
I would, because it will make you laugh. Right after it scares you.
Okay.
It will make you laugh. It is so, like, the dialogue is so fun and goofy and the quirky characters and everything, but you're a detective in this game. Mm-hmm. And so as you're going through the world, you're gathering, like, clues, like, mentally, and then at any point you press a button and you go into your mind space, which is like an office, and you walk around your office and you're putting the clues on a wall and connecting things and trying to draw like the next thread out of the mystery. It's like LA Noir, like next gen LA Noir, and you're walking around crime scenes and looking at stuff and going in your mind space and putting things on the crime board, and connecting wires like, oh, okay, this is a cult, but like what kind of cult is it? And then they're asking these questions, and you're going back and investigating details and then bringing them back and putting them on the board. And it's like no loading. You just press a button and you're back in the world. And then somebody will ask you a question, you're like, I need to think about that, and you go back to your mind space, and you're like piecing things
Let me
together.
go to my mind space.
It is.
Let me go to my MySpace.
I'll say this: Tears of the Kingdom's awesome. Baldur's Gate's cool. I can't put this game down. I cannot stop playing this game.
Oh.
It is fantastic. Alan Wake 1 is fun. It's goofy.
This
game is like...
Can I pull a Jacob and watch the cutscenes for 1 and just go into 2?
You could.
Because I'm thinking about it.
You could. You
nothing wrong with that.
could. You probably could.
There's nothing wrong with
that.
Zach.
You really could, I think.
Because the more I look at Alan Wake 1,
I love 1, but yeah.
Yeah.
This game deserves to be played.
Okay.
Is how I feel about it.
I'm team cutscene and play it then. I'm okay with that. Without a doubt. That's cool. I'm going to have to check it out because I've had other people tell me about it. It's going to have to be behind Baldur's Gate, though, because I'm more excited about Baldur's Gate. But
I get that.
I've heard things about this game. I've heard people talking about it, and I loved L.A. Noire. So if it's anything like that, it's going to scratch that itch in my brain.
There are things, it just reminds me, it is like an art house film. And I've never seen a game with this budget. I would say it's in the same lane with Death Stranding in that terms.
It took them a billion years to get this because they were really wanting to make this game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it shows. And like Control, I never played that, but people that I've seen have said is like Control's still really safe compared to this. This is like they're going all out. They're going nuts.
Yeah.
It is so cool.
That's cool. Yeah, I will definitely check that out because I think
I don't know. You could watch cutscenes for Alan Wake 1, but
just watch cutscenes. You're fine. You're fine.
There are good things in the gameplay of that, but yeah.
It's like saying, let's go
I
back and play all the metal.
Friends, we could all get together and play through Alan Wake 1 because it's not very long.
I don't know.
That might be the way to do it.
Who knows what we'll do.
Depends if cutscenes pop up on my YouTube.
I feel like I had 15 years.
Maybe I can recoup it later.
I'll just have missed that, and I'll get Alan Wake 2 when it's,
I think Travis wants us to play Alan Wake. Hold on. Let's make a deal.
$100.
Oh, wait. He watched Leftovers already. Yeah. I thought he still might be trying to watch it.
The deal is you're supposed to watch Friday Night Lights.
Here's some games I've been playing lately. Let me tell you about some games we've been playing. Spider-Man 2, it's officially in the 100% category for me.
You 100% in the first one, didn't you?
I did. It's now becoming just a ritual now. Like, it's just, I'm going to do it. I love the Spider-Man series. I love what Insomniac's done with these games. And this is probably my fanboy for me. So I'm officially done with that game. It's over. But I don't know if you guys heard the rumors. There is DLC probably coming. And hopefully it's the type of DLC. Have you guys played Spider-Man? You haven't played it yet, right?
No.
Not yet.
Dang, dude, you all missed out. There's a part in the game that is really cool that you get to experience. And
I'm going to play it just...
I'm not going to ruin it. I'll let you guys play it.
These games being 70, I am putting off more games than ever. Yeah. I just can't do it. I can't.
Isn't that weird? It's like a weird mental block. It would almost be easier... I was going to say if it was 80. There's something about 70. It's just like weird. I don't know.
Can I talk about this? I want to talk about this. That bugs me.
But I will pay $70 for the new CD Projekt Red game. I'll pay whatever.
It's not a spoiler. $70. It's just a mechanic that happens.
Go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, not a mechanic, but something cool. It's like a cool twist. It's not a twist, though. It doesn't ruin the story. So... everyone knows that Venom is in this.
Yes.
This, right? Mm-hmm. So, Ultimate Spider-Man was a game that came out on the PS2, the Xbox, and the GameCube.
Yeah, I remember that.
And people loved it because you had all the free roaming of Spider-Man 2, but then you got to play as Venom. And you full-blown play as Venom. Like, the traversal and everything. There's a part in Spider-Man 2 where you get to play as Venom. And it comes out of nowhere. And it's so awesome and so cool. But it only lasts like 3 minutes. And it's the biggest tease I've ever had.
It's probably going to be the DLC.
It's like, I'm hoping, because the rumor was the guy who played Venom and voiced him said, man, they only used like 10% of my lines.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and so the rumor is that the other part of him is locked away. Yeah. It's going to be in DLC world, hopefully.
Got to pay for it.
Maybe Uncharted Lost Legacy. That might be a big DLC.
Whatever, I don't care. But I'm telling you, that 3-minute chunk of playing as Venom, I was standing up in my living room giddy because it was so much fun. It was so cool. It was just bonkers. So hopefully we get that because that's going to be more time to throw at this. But that was really, really awesome. Great game. It was worth $70 in my opinion. Call of Duty, MW3, 2.
Sounds like
2.0, released again in 2023. It's good. It's a good Call of Duty. I can't say that. I will say this.
I've heard it's been getting crapped on.
See, I don't know where, like, people... I have a friend named Michael, a really good friend of mine. He said the same thing. And I'm like, Did you know that this weekend was the most played weekend of Call of Duty since 2019? Like, that's how big of a deal it was. And so I was like, I don't really know why people are crapping on it because everyone's playing this one. Like, MW2 had a giant opening weekend, and it completely died right afterwards. It was the quickest death of a COD since, like, man, it's probably since Infinite Warfare.
So where would you put this one in the ranking?
It's not... See, this is why I struggle. I don't think it's better than Cold War. Cold War came out during COVID.
We played Cold War.
It was Treyarch who made Cold War. Cold War is fun.
I like Cold War.
Cold War is really good. It has great, but it's that Black Ops game. But it's better than every other COD's been released, probably since Black Ops 4. So it's probably number 2, the Cold War, which to me is good enough because I need something to play that's actually going to be fun. And it has like all the good maps from the old MW2. They remastered them all, which it's crazy to me that like people, it's DLC.
I heard this was essentially DLC for Modern Warfare 2.
It's a $70 DLC. Well, yes, but they also improved everything that should have been in MW2. It's really stupid. I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm extremely casual, all right? And I'm also a sucker, all right? So don't
Do you think that their plan
else.
was to do other DLC and they're like, no, just slap another number on it and call it?
No, they 100% did. It's because that's just who they are. Activision is a terrible company.
You play games.
Watch out. Hold on. They had James Corden give a speech the other day.
I don't give a crap. Like, they are awful. You want to know why? MW2 was developed by Infinity Ward, which Infinity Ward everyone deems as like the holy grail of COD makers. They're not great.
Who's the best one?
Treyarch, without a doubt.
Treyarch
gave us zombies.
When I was playing.
Which is stupid because Treyarch is always Black Ops. Black Ops 2.
That's not their first game.
Well, no,
they made 2 before
They
that.
made all the other ones in World of War, yeah, but I'm talking about like...
I'm talking about when I played Call of Duty 2, that was Infinity War. And I'm talking about Call of Duty 2.
Yeah, I know. Big Red Moon and all that stuff.
And then 2000, whatever, Call of Duty 3, Treyarch, whatever. Call of Duty 4, Modern Warfare, Infinity Ward.
Infinity Ward.
You know, Call of Duty World at War, Treyarch.
No, dude, it's not like that.
Infinity Ward.
Yeah.
Now, I know that changed, but I still always feel that way. I know that's not
and
how
there
it
are
is
people
today.
who hold to that, and I don't know why.
I get it. Well, the guy that was at Infinity Ward left. He went to Respawn,
yes.
to Titanfall and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I know it's not that way now, but
it's just one of those things where like it's mind blowing to me, but it's a giant cash grab. It is what it is. I'm not gonna hover on it. I will say this: I'm happier with COD now. I'm not depressed with my shooters anymore.
That's good.
I am depressed. I'm sick of getting shot by Nicki Minaj. And I'm also sick of...
I was going to say, why am I seeing in screenshots, like...
So
it looks like there's a demon.
There is Evil Groot that you can buy. You can be Evil Groot. You can be Nicki Minaj.
Oh,
and
is
her
that what that
finisher.
is? I saw you put that in the group chat, and I actually didn't know what you meant.
You can buy Nicki Minaj skins.
No, I knew about Nicki. I didn't know about Evil Groot.
Her finisher is hilarious. She literally runs up to you, and she turns around and slaps her butt in your face and kills you. That's how she finishes you.
This is
and then,
happier than you've been in a long time.
Yeah, I know, right? But the other one they added,
this.
which is driving me insane, they added Lara Croft from PlayStation 1.
Oh, that's good. I didn't see it.
But no.
PlayStation 1?
But the PlayStation 1 outfit and everything, like it's Lara Croft.
Boobs?
Yes. But here's the stupid part. They gave her 2 pistols. And these pistols are the most OP things I've ever existed in this game. And so you have kids running around and they're jumping off buildings and you just see them shooting Lara Croft. And I'm like, what game am I playing anymore? They're trying to be Fortnite. That's what they're trying to be.
Oh, I was thinking Fortnite when John Wick iced all 4 of us and then was like dancing the Doja Cat on the helicopter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Other than that, I only have one other game I wanted. It's more of an experience. I am an ongoing Madden player.
Oh, so you played the Vader VR.
What?
Do you remember when that Vader VR came out and they said it wasn't a video game?
It's not a game. It's an experience. This is almost like not a game. Travis has participated in my wacky-dacky franchises I put on. I put on franchises every year. It's a group of guys. Sometimes it's 4 of us for Madden. But the highest franchise I've ever managed was the year Travis last played, which was like, what, 2016? I don't know.
It was 2020.
2020. Yeah. We had 8 people. And it was fun. It lasted about 2.5 seasons, which on average we can get about 3 seasons. The longest I've ever done is 7. Yeah. But that was just with 4 guys who were just us 4.
Every season's like 17 games plus playoffs.
Exactly. So it takes a while.
It's a lot of multiplayer.
It is a lot of multiplayer. But Travis bowed out. Another one of my friends bowed out, and it's okay. This year, I did it. I got 15 people to join a Madden franchise. And it is the most fun I've ever had in Madden. I'm not even winning all the games. But what we have done is we have created a universe to where
you've got the
we have
Maddenverse.
Commentary crews. People will stream their games and we all log on. And me and Michael are the Monday Night Football commentators. Brent and Kenny are the Thursday Night Football commentators.
What?
So we log on and we'll watch the games and we'll start commentary. And my favorite thing to do is we'll play commercials during these games.
What?
These guys say, I gotta take a pee, and they'll pause. And Michael will lean over and start playing Little Caesars ads. And everyone's watching. They're all watching on their phones or streaming. But it is the most fun we have ever had. We're cracking jokes. We're having good times. And we have commentary teams, and we have power rankings. We're releasing power rankings now every 2 weeks. It has reached peak. This is the way to play Madden. I'm like, if we do anything less than this, I'm no longer having fun.
All right, are you taking expansion teams?
Dude, we actually just added another person into this. We just added a guy named Brandon Geis. Do you know Brandon Geis?
I recognize the name.
Yeah, he's neckbeard.
Okay,
We just added Brandon in. He just took over the Saints.
Okay.
So if you're interested, we have spots in the AFC.
AFC spots.
AFC spots.
Are the Bengals open?
No, Kenny is the Bengals, and he is running them into the ground.
Maybe he'll trade them to me. But here's the problem, though. You guys play a game every 2 days.
Now, yes, that's the one
so
thing.
every 2 days,
you have to get a game in.
Get online and play a game with somebody.
No, you don't. It's unless if you have a user. If you have a CPU game, you just have to play your CPU game whenever you can. Which is every 2 days, but just whenever you can play your CPU. Yeah. The user games is tricky. I've had 7 users this year, the most I've ever had to play. I'm 5-3. I've never been 5-3. I'm normally the best one in the
So, are you commenting on games that possibly might be pre-recorded, like Travis played a CPU game and you're watching it?
What we're doing is these are live games. So Travis, let's say Travis had a user game against Brent. They log in. We have a PlayStation party. Everyone starts jumping in. Travis shares his screen, and you'll hear the Monday Night Football theme start, and you're like, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your host Jacob Ware, joined by co-host Michael Smith." And we're here for another riveting playoff matchup between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Baltimore Ravens. And we have a tail of the tape spreadsheet that we create. It tells us all the stats, the team stats, best performing players of weeks. And we'll commentate on these teams. And then we have an on-field sideline reporter that we call up. His name's Corey. We'll say, Corey, you just interviewed Coach Brent. What's his feelings? And he'll come down. He's like, yeah, Coach Brent was a man of few words there. Very frustrated with his team giving up 17 points in that quarter. Really hoping to rebound in the fourth. Thank you, Corey. Back to you. And so, it's pure comedy.
That's the best Madden thing I've ever heard.
It's honestly, it's the community that's making it really fun. And we're enjoying it, and I'm hoping this stays strong because I've never done a league this big.
Really fun.
I could not imagine managing a 32-person league. Could not imagine it. No way, no how. But that's my experience for gaming this month. I just thought I'd share that with you guys.
Nice.
That's awesome.
I had a good community moment as well. I booted up Halo Infinite.
That's a community right there.
Played that with Pierce and Matt. You've seen them in the Hangouts streams we do. But I wanted to hop back on because there was some rumbling online that they have added Forge. They've added Halo 3 maps.
Yep.
They made InForge in this.
Community is taking over.
And I was like, let's hop back on. And yeah, they've added a ton. They've added, I think, new weapons, or maybe I'm dumb. There was a lot of stuff that was new. We played the Halo 3 stuff. They took, I think it's Blood Gulch is their version of the freaking Halo 1 map. What's the big, huge, ginormous map? Blood Gulch. Okay, was that the original?
That's from Halo 1.
Okay, then Halo 3 has their own version, which I can't remember the name of.
Valhalla.
Yeah.
They took Valhalla. And we were freaked out when we first played this because it was like, what is going on? They made it in Forge. But I guess Forge only gives you so much space. So these are 343 made these Forge maps of these Halo 3 maps, remastered in Forge. But to make Valhalla, it is a mini version of that. So you're running and jumping and stuff, but you're already halfway in the map after a couple steps. So everyone's fighting, but I was like,
it's pure chaos.
I won this mini-me map of this thing, and we're just giants running around.
Gundams.
Yeah. But it is fun. It is time to hop back on Halo Infinite. There is like some Halo 3 stuff they've added, and
oh, cool.
Halo with the friends has always been enjoyable. It's incredibly sweaty.
Yeah.
No, I make it sweaty, but it's incredibly fun.
Yeah,
I enjoy it.
So that's good. And then I played a little bit, of the Super Mario RPG remake. I just finished Luigi's Mansion 3, and I think I might sit on this game and check out Alan Wake or check out these other games I want to play because of I want to like just have this on the couch or on a vacation and play this.
Okay.
It's seems like a handheld, and you're just kind of
passively
kind of
playing.
Thing. And I might come back to this later on, but it is fun. It looks really, really good, and it captures perfectly that original. You can switch between the modern soundtrack and the original.
That's cool.
Soundtrack and stuff.
I like that.
So this game has a heart to it that I don't think any other Mario RPG even those have a lot of heart. This has the most heart of all.
Even over the Paper
over
Marios?
all the Paper Marios, because this is so distinct in the humor. They don't ever return to this level of.
So
like,
they just
wackiness.
completely 1-in-1 almost.
Yes, and the wackiness and the weird stuff is like they did that, or they're gonna have this, and they have just a ton of weird. Samus shows up in this like as a doll or something, like little references. There's so many references. It's it comes from a time when there wasn't. I don't know how to explain it. Like there was more loosey-goosey of stuff, or how characters act, or Mario's supposed to be, you know what I mean, or something. And this
more freedoms.
Yes, and this they didn't have a playbook yet in the Super Nintendo still.
That is on my agenda.
So I thought that was really cool. And the last gaming thing I did was I went and met, I played this and I was like, I want to meet Mario himself. And that's what I did. I went up to the Torg Gaming Expo in Columbus, Ohio. And I went alone. I braved the drive alone to go meet Mario. And they had tons of vintage video games. And if you look around, and guess what? The Game Room Tour is coming soon, finally, before the end of the year. I'm going to get that out. But I don't need any more games, probably. But I am trying to get the Metal Gear Solid games, and I found 2 that I needed.
Nice.
There. Some ports I wanted and stuff for the Metal Gear games. But I picked those up, walked around. But Mario, Chris Martinet, I think is his name, how you say it, was going to be there. And I was like, I gotta meet him. Because they recently announced, like, he's no longer the voice. They have a new voice for Mario Brothers, starting with Mario Brothers. They need Chris Pratt in there. So that combined with, like, he was coming here, and I was like, oh, shoot. Because I think I'd already got tickets before they announced that, before he announced he was leaving. And then after that, it's like, oh, I have to meet him now. Like, it just seemed more vital. Like, oh, my gosh, like, whatever. So I waited 2.5 hours to meet Mario. I was in line, and like I'm getting kind of hungry. I have to be back for stuff with the movie we're doing. I was still filming the movie stuff, and I was like, I have to like leave here. And I was like right on the dial, like meeting him and stuff when I needed to leave. And we were in line, and at one point we've been waiting. I'm talking to people in line, and I see him come up, and he's leaving.
Oh no!
And he's going like he's mouthing like I have to eat. So I watch him like, and there went like 30 minutes. So I'm waiting there, and I was talking to the people in line. I said I brought Super Mario. I wish I would have had it out. You'll see it in the Game Room Tour.
Yeah.
I have a signed copy of Mario Odyssey. I brought that for him to sign. I was like, hey, that's the last mainline Mario game that he did. I want to get that signed, and that was $80. And I was like, I only want to do that, because it was like you can get a picture for a picture $60. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. But I'm waiting so long in that line, and then somebody was like, hey, I heard like the thing is if you get a picture and that it's $140. And I was like, okay, you save a little bit. You save
oh my god!
But I'm in the line for so long.
It's 80 and 60, so it's 140 for both.
Sorry, it's 120.
Oh,
sorry, I messed up. I got messed up.
Yeah.
Sorry, 120. If you got both.
Okay.
So I was like, once I found that, I was like, okay, you get $20, okay. But I'd been it so long, I was getting hungry, and I was like, okay, I have to. Like I've spent so much time, I have to get the picture. So I'll put the pictures up right now. There's me with Mario. Gave me 3 pictures. Thank you, Mario. I did tell him, he did chuckle. I said that growing up, I'd play Mario Kart Double Dash, and when Mario would lose as the CPU or whoever, and you beat Mario would go, Mario, get you next time. But it always sounded threatening, and I told him that. I was like, it was so cute. I was like, but threatening. He was like, that's what I am. I'm just.
He's like, that's what I was aiming
for.
for.
Whatever.
That's what he was going for.
Mario, get you next time.
Mario, get you next time. And we'd always quote that. But no, he's cool. Signed my stuff. He put like Super Zach and Drew. Like there was a person in front of me that I was talking to a long time, and he bought a poster, and he was putting like woohoo, and he was like Super Brian or whatever the guy's name was, and it was like wee-hee, and he just was like
having
like
fun,
graffitiing all over this poster, and then he finally signed his name, and it was cracking me up. But he was very nice and took time to talk to little kids.
I wish he would have wrote Mario get you next time on that.
I wish he would have, but
that would have been legendary.
He wrote Super Zach instead, but no.
You should just add it.
Yeah, just add it in, pencil it in.
Oh, I fricked it up. But yeah, Charles Martinet.
That's cool.
Cool to meet you.
What a cool experience that is. There's some experiences that you get to have, and one of them I got to experience a little bit later, and that's in a TV show I watched called Queen's Gambit. Have you guys watched that?
Never watched it.
Is that the
know of it.
British show?
It's the show based around a extraordinary chess player.
Okay.
It came out in 2020.
Okay.
So I'm late, but I saw it on Netflix, and you know how they give you that preview the first minute?
Yeah.
They previewed. And I was like,
hooked you.
oh, I'm in. I said, Maya, get in here. She came right in. I was like, we're watching this. And we sat down.
This 20-second sizzle reel got me.
Hour and 15 minutes later, I look over. Her jaw is unhinged. Because I was like, this is crazy.
Is it a documentary or is
it's a dramatization of a lady who is a phenomenal chess player.
Okay.
Phenomenal. And I love chess. The King's Defense, the Sicilian Defense, all those things. Like, I love it. I love the concept of it. I still play chess on my phone against randos all the time. It's just something I enjoy. And this show right here does such a great job, like, getting the nerd end of the chess, but giving you a character who is like, this girl is unhinged, completely insane, but amazing at chess. And that's all that matters. It's all that matters. It's 7 episodes. That's all it is. A limited series,
Queen's
7
Gambit.
episode. It's done. There's nothing else after it. And I
love the Queen's Gambit.
Great job. Just great show.
I just associate that with the COVID because that was the same year.
Yep.
And that everybody was getting into chess when that came out.
Yep.
And yeah, so that's really fun.
It's really, I don't know, but dude, I'm telling you, first episode, by the end of it, I was like, this show is not what I thought it'd be. Like, not at all. I literally thought, I was like, I'm just going to watch this girl go to, like, chess tournaments.
That's what I thought. I was going to say, she just goes to chess tournaments. That's
Nope.
not what it is.
Nope. Not at all.
Oh.
Not even close.
You want to drop a tease? Like, what is it?
So at one point, okay,
guns?
so she's a kid in her first episode, and she's at an orphanage. And back in the long days, like old school days, they would give kids tranquilizers. And at this orphanage,
Yeah, they were freaked out at the orphanage.
she got tranquilizers, and she became addicted to tranquilizers. And it helped her play chess.
Oh, so she's got like a substance abuse problem.
Yeah, and but it's like it's so much deeper, and they do such a good job at writing this story about her and the people around her. Must watch, absolute must watch. Cool. And I think Netflix is not worth it, but that show in itself made it worth it for that month for me.
Subscribe for that month.
Subscribe for that one
for the
series.
Queen's Gambit, and then shoot yourself with a tranquilizer.
Yeah, that's the only way. But another show got its lid put on it. Attack on Titan.
Yes, it did.
It's over?
It's over.
I feel like I've heard you guys say multiple times it's over, and then they
they kept coming out with Attack on Titan final season. We were like, yes, and then they said Attack on Season final season part 2. Now we're on Attack on Season part 3, but then that wrapped up last year.
Yep.
And this year they gave us 2 final episodes of that final season part 3.
It's actually over.
It's over.
And were each of those gyrations and iterations of the end worth it, or did it seem like they were stringing
personally?
Yeah.
I think this ending was incredible. I feel totally satisfied.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the stuff they tackled with this ending. Like,
they had a lot to wrap up.
It's very.
They had a lot to do.
They had a ton of to wrap up. I thought the stuff that they showed. I want to say more. We just can't because I really this is my third favorite anime of all time now. Like this has transcended just a lot of animes for me. Like it just really blew me away.
They did a good job explaining certain things, even in the manga, that the manga didn't really touch on as much.
I heard that this kind of expanded
and
something.
I'm
made
glad
a scene a little bit longer
because I explained. I tried talking to our friend Kenny. I was like, Kenny, I had an issue with it, but like that was when I read the manga, and after I watched this, I was like, oh,
yeah.
Oh, well, at least they finally they explained it. No one's guessing anymore. They're not guessing this idea anymore. Because a lot of people are guessing this concept, and it really made this person look a certain way.
Yeah.
And it's not the case anymore, which I'm really happy about. Really, really happy about.
Yeah.
So
great ending. Great credit scene. You gotta stick around. You gotta stick around for the credit scene.
Those credit scenes, man.
That
It's
was
like
an excellent
Marvel.
credit scene.
It's like Marvel, man.
Iron Man invite the.
It just is cool. What they do with the credits.
I like the first episode of Attack on Titan, and they eat his mom, and then and then in the second episode, there's a big time jump, and they're in like an academy.
Yeah,
and that kind of lost me.
Well, now that it's...
I don't like time jumps, and animes do these time jumps.
Well, now...
I didn't even really get to know them that well.
They do it a little bit in this series.
Now that it's wrapped up, I really highly suggest that be on your list to watch this.
So I shouldn't be worried about that time jump. I should keep
it's fine.
It's just part of how it is. I will say...
It really helps set... I like that it really sets what... It immediately shows you, as the viewer, the danger of these Titans.
Yeah.
It immediately gets that in, and then you time jump to show, like...
These guys take it serious.
Like, you get to see that these whole people's world changed. And they only give you, like, those 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or whatever. It's like, the whole world has changed for these people.
Yeah.
And here's the stakes. And I will say, that was one thing I was like, I had goosebumps. I've talked about this show a lot, how this gave me more goosebumps than any other show I've ever watched. And this final episode, again, goosebumps, but I'm watching it going, oh my gosh, there's so many high stakes.
Yeah.
And that's, to me, is like what grips me, is like, what are the stakes?
Yeah.
Like, what is at risk here? And that last episode, everything, like they show you the extreme weight.
All encompassing.
And it's like, oh, I just want to die watching it, but it's so...
this is my favorite anime of all time. It beats Naruto. My Hero would be third, Naruto would be second. This is my favorite, and it would be a lock 100% if I just had it quicker. I think that was the issues I had when I watched this episode, and I loved the finale.
Yeah.
But because there was so much time in between it, the intensity of it kind of just disappeared because I forgot how I felt towards it. And then I started watching. I was like, oh yeah, I'm with you now again.
Because it started in 2013. Yeah. And I watched since the premiere, and then after that first season ended, it took
forever.
And at that time, you have to remember, TV shows were a new season would come out every year. So when this came, and the next year came, and it's like, where is it at? It's not here. 2 years go on, it's like, is it canceled? Yeah. And it took 3, maybe 4 years for us to get season 2. And it was crazy. It was like, oh my gosh. And really, the show does change as it goes along. Like each season, almost genres. That first season is very
kind of like
horror, extreme,
okay.
kind of horrific, and then I don't want to spoil it, but we kind of changed genres.
Season 2,
and it's very. I think the show gets better every single season.
What kind of genre does it become after that?
There is like some espionage, like
action,
thriller, political
action.
Espionage.
Now that season 3. Is my opinion. That one's the most convoluted, but the most interesting season out of all of them.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even hold it. I think season 3 is the highlight of the show.
Yeah,
that's just my exact a humble, honest opinion. Nothing touches season 3. Season 1, in my opinion, has magical moments because you see like the glimmer of hope, but it is.
I think the show gets better every season because you unravel the onion like each layer.
It's a giant mystery.
Oh my gosh!
Because these guys are living on a freaking world with giants. And they're trying to survive. It's a giant mystery, but it took a long time to get to it.
It did take a long time, but now's a good time to jump in there.
But yeah, man, I'm telling you, out of all the animes I've ever watched, this one's the best by far. Origami used to be really good, but they canceled it after 3 seasons.
Well, I think I'm gonna watch it. I think you guys convinced me.
I'll watch Friday Night Lights, and you watch it. I'm just kidding.
I'll do that.
I need to watch it. I will say this. I turned it on the other week.
Did you?
Yep. I turned it on, and I turned it off after 15 minutes.
You started it?
I did start it.
From the beginning?
Yep, from the beginning.
What happened in it?
It was in the football. It was in the locker room, right?
Okay.
And they were the newspaper. It opened up with the newspaper route,
Yeah.
And then they appeared in the locker room, and that's all I remember.
Why'd you turn it off?
I think I went to go play a game.
All right, turn it back on. I'll watch Attack on Titan as you watch Friday Night Live.
You heard it here first.
The new deal has been...
It's that time of year where deals are getting struck.
This is the deal.
Is Stadia better or not?
That's easy. I win both ways.
You do win both ways either
That's
way.
great.
I'm with you. I'm with you 100%.
Me and Travis saw a movie.
Hell yeah, we did.
The big screen.
Oh my God.
I think the group one year, we got everybody together to watch Neil Breen. Check out Google Neil Breen.
You gotta Google Neil Breen for any of this to make sense.
Yes. So he is a filmmaker who makes these low-budget independent films that he funds a lot of them himself. Sometimes he's had some outside help, but they're very independent. He is doing a lot of the legwork.
You know what? No one's questioning if he's getting funded.
Yeah.
No one's saying, "Hey,
what's going on here?"
Sony make this?
But these films are very notoriously bad. They are not well made, but they have a cult following, including us, that love them because, and this film solidified that. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but they're just very unique films. That's why I love the movie The Room with Tommy Wiseau. Because when you watch that and people laugh and you have a good time in a group, but if you take 2 seconds and think about it, it's like nobody can make this film. This is hard to replicate. As bad as it is, to make these choices in editing or acting or allow that to go, that is a craft.
Authentically bad.
Is very hard because there are like these like. I don't want to.
Sharknado, whatever. It's like it's bad, but they're like, we know how to.
There's a bit of winking and whatever.
Yeah.
There's no winking and nodding and stuff at all. An elbow from any of these films. They are just the way they are. So we watched all of them, and I knew he had a new one coming out, and I had seen the trailer, and it was like, I think this is. I don't think anything is not in green screen.
Yeah.
Everything is green screen.
Even things that don't need to.
Them in front of a building is green screen.
Yeah.
Like
in a
everything.
hallway.
In a hallway is green screen. Green screen. So I saw that and I was like, when does that come out? What are we doing with that? And I looked it up to see when it was coming to Cincinnati area. And I actually looking for it to release. That's what it was. Like, when's this come out or whatever? And it showed like a showtime. It said Cincinnati, and it was like coming up this month. I was like, like we got together and was like, we have to see that live. So we went down there.
Was it packed?
It was sold out.
It was sold out.
Sold out.
It wasn't a huge theater, but every seat was.
Every seat was filled.
A person I went to work with, I haven't seen him since I quit this job. He was there in a tux and was all dressed up, and he was like, we were glad to see each other, and he was like, I dressed up for this, He dressed up like a movie for like the red carpet.
Sounds like Star Wars.
It was crazy.
It was a fun experience because everyone was in on the joke, and we were all laughing in the theater. Nobody was obnoxious. There was people calling out, but it was funny what they would call out or like point out like what was going on or somebody, and it wasn't obnoxious. Like I was afraid it was going to be obnoxious.
It was like watching a bad movie with like 100 friends.
Yes,
that's good.
And
it was
my gosh, it was
so
freaking funny. I was like keeled over multiple times at just the crazy moments on this one. What solidified what I'm going back to, the moment that I was like, nobody can make these films. There's a moment when it shows an exterior and he's pulling up in his own car that was green screen to be like he's driving on a road, but he actually has his car. It goes to the exterior, or actually he's pulling up, and the next thing we see is a stairwell with, it's just a picture. Nobody's on it. And then it cuts to the exterior, and then it comes to him. And like that cut was cracking me up because I was like, that is why this is real.
Yeah.
Because you would never think to do that. You know what I mean? Like a human mind could not come up with something so bad unless you're actually bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like to show an interior before you show the exterior of the thing with nobody in it. There was not even like set dressing or whatever. It just
Nothing.
is the picture.
It just was like fundamentally really bad filmmaking.
There was legitimately extremely funny parts in this. There is a part. I just want to say this one part of it. There's a part in this film where it's an insane asylum, This plot makes no sense, by the way.
It's a hospital that Neil Breen always plays some version of God,
of a savior,
or the best,
of the
savior of the world, and he's giving money to this hospital.
The director, by the way, is the main person.
He's giving money to this hospital. He's like, I haven't even been to the hospital. I haven't been there. And you go to this hospital, and it is hell on earth. Like people are laying in like the corner with like broken 2x4s everywhere, and like this guy's laying on like a broken mattress and like all this.
So
stuff.
there is a part that I think it's tied for my top one, like funny parts or whatever of this film. But I'll just say this one. These donors are at that one place when it just showed the interior. They're at this this kind of like swag party, the rich and corruption and all this stuff. And how's the hospital? And he's like, he asks a question. He leans over and he's like, "What is our money going to at the hospital?" And it hard cuts to a
shithole
shanty
room.
like old room,
destroyed,
empty. And you hear footsteps, and a guy walks in with a piano,
like a little keyboard,
like electronic piano, like
an $80 Yamaha keyboard.
Shut up! And he sits down on the ground. So it comes from, where's our money going? The cards cut to this, and he sits down.
Clown music.
That and I was in tears. I was like, that's legitimately an extremely funny cut.
I couldn't breathe.
Where's our money going to? Like, this takes forever for him to sit down and he's impatient.
I forget. He takes it seriously though, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I remember this correctly.
Yeah.
I think this was an awesome movie.
This was one of my favorites, I think. I think the group setting made it.
I can't even think of like. It's so impressive. He has a filmography.
Yes,
he has
a big one. Yeah,
6 or 7, and he's got a distinct style, and he's sticking to it.
And he's made a lot of films. That's just like, I made one and it about killed me, and it's like this guy's made so many.
You know what?
And now he has a fan base. Like it really is an amazing story. Of just, like,
he's on the big screen.
Yeah,
all of his dreams are come true.
Yes,
and it shouldn't work, but it does.
Yes.
And that's why I think in terms of bad movies and stuff, I know Tommy Wiseau is he's kind of like
he's made the crown jewel of the room.
He's the crown jewel with the room, but this is my favorite.
Sure, I'm with you. I'm with you because he's made more.
He's just and
very good. So love that, great group setting on that. The other thing I watched, I wanted to talk about was Shin Masked Rider.
Who made this?
Hideki Anno.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. Creator of Evangelion. So he made Shin Godzilla, and I loved that. That had Evangelion music in it, in Shin Godzilla, and it just his style comes through. It's great. So after Evangelion 4, not 4.0, the final film Evangelion, he said he's done with anime. He's only doing live action stuff from now. It's like, okay, I'm in on with this. So he's come out with Shin Masked Rider since then. And this was up on Amazon Prime. And I was like, oh, okay, I forgot about this coming out. So me and my wife, and I was like, let's just watch this. He was like, okay. We start watching it, and we got a little bit in, and I was like, okay. And the next day I was like, you want to continue watching it? She's like, I'm good. So I finished it alone. But I was like, I got on her for like 10 minutes. Like, this is freaking cool. I was like, I love this. Like, I'm watching it. I'm like, I freaking adore this style of film. And it feels like a live anime in every single possible way. And you just get an extra level of what this really is allowing him to do is an extra level of like emotion that you can't quite maybe get all the way in anime. You can get with like human, eye-to-eye contact emotion. And I freaking love this film. It's cool that he's got to do this. Not only Godzilla, but this movie, because these are like Japanese staples. Godzilla.
Yeah.
It's
Kamen Rider.
Or Ultra Boy?
He didn't do that, but that came back too around the same time recently. But Kamen Rider is from the 60s. It's when Anno was growing up. That's what inspired him, and he got to go back and like make this new thing. So it's like that, you can tell. I'm not a big Kamen Rider guy, but you can tell like there's a lot of heart. Like he cared. Like this is his childhood like love. You know what I mean? Like, and he got to make this and bring this into new audiences and stuff. So it's like a weird wacko Power Rangers that turns extremely ungodly violent at times. And that's what I was shocked about. I was like, oh my gosh, this is almost hilariously violent. It's almost like End of Evangelion violent at times when that was like violent, and like, you know what I mean, tearing the Evas apart, like certain stuff like that. But I loved this. This had such it oozed just style and the shots and the camera angles he was doing. I was like, when I started watching, I was like, the guy who edited Evangelion had to have done this. And I looked it up, and it's the same guy who edited all the Evangelion films.
Check this out.
Came on and edited this film.
He is one of my favorite creators, and I liked Shin Godzilla. I will admit, I was very tired. I did fall asleep watching it. And it's no fault of the movie. Yeah. I woke up at the craziest thing in Shin Godzilla. I woke up at the end. And I had fallen asleep for like 30 minutes, and I was like, what is happening?
Dang it.
The end of that movie is just the most unbelievable, just loud set piece.
Yes, so I highly recommend this film. If you like anything Evangelion, anything anime, this is just oozing so much style. The camera angles I was so jealous of, because I was like, little things of some character walking up and passing a note or doing something is so stylized. Yeah. Like every single thing is stylized. It made me jealous. It was like I couldn't even I wish I had this kind of even brain to think of this. It's so hyper stylized, so freaking fun. So highly recommend Shin Masked Rider.
Nice. I watched a few movies. I'm continuing my Bondathon. I've watched 3. I think I watched Diamonds Are Forever, Live and Let Die, and then tonight I watched The Man with the Golden Gun, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a guy that
has a golden gun.
He has a golden lighter, and a golden cigarette holder, and he walks in and says, "You can see I'm unarmed." And then when they're not looking, he has his little gun and he shoots
puts together. That's pretty cool.
So it's funny. It's definitely we're basically into this early Roger Moore era. He was the third actor to play James Bond in these series, and his movies are goofier. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're funnier. There is Live and Let Die introduces a sheriff character named J.W. Pepper. And he's a big, just nasty-looking Southern cop. Yeah. That always has a big thing of drip in his mouth. And he's walking, what are you doing out here? What are you boys doing? Like, he's the most obnoxious
Dukes or Hazzard kind of.
Yeah, and it's like Smokey and the Bandit, basically. Yep. And they introduce him in Live and Let Die, which takes place in Louisiana. And there's all these voodoo tribes and stuff. Yeah. And they go through this subplot where this sheriff's chasing these guys around. It's like 40 minutes. They keep cutting away to this guy. So after that movie, I was like, God, I forgot about this. And then Man with the Golden Gun takes place in Hong Kong. James Bond's doing chases in Hong Kong. And he bumps into a tour bus. And it's that guy, what are these guys doing here? And then, you're like, oh my God, this was just a cameo. So then James Bond's trying to get away later in the movie. And he gets in a car, and that guy's in the car. He's like, oh, you're going to deputize me? You're that agent. And it just goes on and on.
He's like the Jar Jar of
he is the Jar Jar of these James Bond movies. What I thought. I didn't even remember he was in multiple. So, what are you? James Bond, I love them, but we're into some. They're all fun and goofy, and luckily none of them are more than 2 hours. So you just kind of roll with the good and the bad. But
that's fair.
Yeah, I like Roger Moore. His movies are goofier. Definitely than the Sean Connery ones.
Who's your favorite era?
I'm always partial to
more modern.
I'm always partial a little bit to Pierce Brosnan because GoldenEye.
Oh yeah.
That movie specifically, gotcha. I love that movie.
And they got a good game out of it.
I like certain Roger Moore movies. I like certain Roger Moore. Some of them are a little less goofy, but he's always like that classic suave. He's got away with the ladies. Yeah. Sean Connery just slapped every woman until they weren't interested, and he would slap them, and then he'd not leave them alone, and then they'd sleep
After
with
you
them,
told the story in the last podcast about, I went back and watched some video clips of his movies, and I was just like,
he's always slapping.
This really got away. He was allowed to do this.
Roger Moore's more like that suave. He
don't have to slap anyone.
He was kissing this girl, and he has this little thing where when he moves it, it's like a super magnet, and it'll pull things to him or away from him. And this girl's kissing him, and he's like, "Oh, it's just magnetic, how we're together." And then he has this thing, and he's undoing her dress with it. It's like a magnet, and it's that's James Bond.
Yeah, that's cool.
Those little things he does are like that. So that's Roger
the Riz
Moore.
About it.
And then Daniel Craig's fantastic, but I like his first movie and his last movie a lot, and his middle one's not as much. So, Pierce Brosnan in GoldenEye is like
Cool
James
decision.
Bond in my brain.
The
like,
Bond-a-thon.
in my 10-year-old brain, that is James Bond.
That's fair.
Yeah. Anyway, so we've been doing that, and then I did also. Were you gonna say something about that?
I was gonna bounce off and talk about how I've watched the first 2 Mission Impossibles. I'm on a Mission Impossible thon, and I just want to tie in because you talked about all these.
We're rivals right now.
They're kind of.
I got the British spy movies.
Yeah, and these I was watching. I was like, oh, these are.
Are these the Cody Banks? Am I crazy?
No, this is Tom Cruise.
Why did I think of Cody Banks?
And one thing that is making me laugh is
okay, go ahead.
Growing up, my dad was the king of trolls. He trolled before trolling was a thing. But anytime we had to do something, it was like, I need help or we got to go over here. We only have 10 minutes, Dad. Like, you have to get me to whatever. He would every time go, oh, we better do it. Dun, 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 dun. And he would do that every single time. So watching this film, I started cracking. I was like, it's that freaking song. Like, dun, 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 dun. He would just do that whenever I was trying to be serious. But I watched the first one. I've never seen any of these. I just know their cultural kind of impact. But I got to see where in the first one when, like, you get to see that famous thing when he almost hits the floor. And you got to see what was that stake there. So that was a really cool setup. That first one's like a smaller, like, we have to go in here and get these files from the FBI or whatever. The second one is directed by a different director. And it's directed by John Woo, who made all these Korean action films.
Yeah.
And this film is awesome. Mission Impossible 2 rules. It starts out, me and my wife, I was like, you want to just jump in with me on the second one? Yeah. And it starts, and there is, I forgot her name, but she's in Westworld, this actress. And it's like, we need her because she's a really good thief. Go and hire her on. And they meet at a party. And immediately, like, he's super interested, and they're, like, almost, like, in love. And me and her are like, oh, this sucks. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is 2000s, like corny, and they're already in love. That is the one fault this movie has, but you forget it within 4 milliseconds because the action in this film, they give you that, they're like, hey, this sucks, but because this sucks, we're allowed to do all this other stuff, 99% of it.
Yeah.
So many cool action. You get the John Woo, like Tom Cruise jumping while like and shooting while he's like landing sideways on his side. Oh my gosh, the action. We were silent like watching. Me and Chelsea are just like, it's from 2000 this came out, but the action is unbelievable. So many cool parts. But they bring something back from the first one because Chelsea's like, what is this? They have a hyper-realistic, they have all this technology they use, and one thing they have is an extremely high-realistic CGI mask. Yeah. And they rip it off, so Tom Cruise is a totally different person, they rip it off, and it's Tom Cruise underneath. But it's just like your face, and they rip it off, and it's like hyper the person, basically, acting. And they rip it off, oh no, it's Tom Cruise. They bring that back in the second one, and they do it in the coolest way. They bring that back and like use that feature, and it's like, oh my gosh, they brought back this freaking.
They brought back the
cheap
CGI
technology, the most cheap plot patching thing. But no, I really like that. So the Mission Impossible thon will continue.
Spy movies.
Nice.
So now we're dueling spy movies.
Well, I think James Bond can hold his own against what's his name, Ethan Carter.
His name is Ethan Hunt.
Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm gonna start watching my spy movies.
Cody Banks.
I'm gonna start watching Cody Banks this next month.
Watch Spy Kids.
Spy Kids, yeah.
Cody.
We'll compare and see who like. How many women get slapped in Spy Kids?
No, who would win in a fight? All right, Cody Banks.
Okay, Cody Banks.
Sean Connery.
Ethan Hunt.
Or Ethan Hunt.
Or what's the Lava Girl? Or that's a whole different movie.
That's Shark Boy and Lava Girl. They're not spies.
They're not spies.
They're just
Who's the spy kid? Just
I can't tell you that.
You know, I did the last movie I watched, and it had Spy Kid energy. Was Scott Pilgrim? I'd never seen that. I don't know why. It? Yeah, I just watched it.
Okay.
And it reminded me of Spy Kids in a weird way. Like there's just goofy, weird like.
It's a very
movie. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, I just don't remember it being like Spy Kids.
I don't know why. It just reminds
It has like
a goofy,
a slapjack kind of like humor.
It's got like
just jacking around.
Yeah,
man.
It really.
It's very silly and very.
When I think of Spy Kids, I think of pure rated G. Like everything is just kind of like.
Yeah,
I think of giant floating George Lopez.
I think it's like heightened reality.
Yeah,
Spy Kids was a heightened reality. Like it's not grounded in our world at all.
Yeah.
This guy has like walking thumbs and all sorts of crazy stuff and like Spy Kids ruled, by the way.
Yeah, it was good. Growing up, I remember Spy Kids being the
Pilgrim's
best.
like Spy Kids for adults.
Scott Pilgrim's really
a goofy,
good.
Fun time. We had a good time with it.
Yeah.
I just never watched it. I liked it. It was fun.
They did an animated version of it too. Did you know that? Yeah.
No,
They actually had a video game
that
of
just
it.
came out. Something, an
Yeah.
animated thing on Netflix just came out for Scott Pilgrim.
Yeah. I don't know. I always was like, I don't know. Like it's.
Did they have games of Scott Pilgrim versus the World? They had the animated version that just came out. They had the live series. So apparently it's funny enough.
So vote in the comments. Who's gonna win?
Out
the
of the
Spy
three.
Kids, Sean Connery. I think Sean Connery's slapping
Sean
everybody.
Connery just slapped.
Yeah, Sean Connery has the edge.
He's slapping the spy.
But in my
out of
I
it.
think Sean Connery slapping Michael Cera.
Dude, he's done. He's slapping the spy out of those kids. Those kids are done.
I'm sorry,
they're not hunting anything.
Oh my
They're not
gosh.
spying anything.
And then take off his face and it's Ethan Hunt.
Yeah.
That's terrible CGI.
Stabs them.
Oh
shoots
my
them.
gosh. Land the plane. Woo. All
right.
Good.
So, hope you guys enjoyed.
I'm sorry.
If you're a spy kid,
I'm
I
imagine Sean Connery's
apologize.
laughing. I'm moving past it.
I apologize if you're a spy kid and you watch this. The spy kids are now spy adults.
They are spy adults.
They should make a sequel, Spy Adults.
They might be cooking that
and
up
it
somewhere
gets
in Fox.
it gets like vulgar and violent.
Yeah.
You know.
That's like what they do. Never mind.
I'll never
iCarly
fly
on
to
that.
Disney.
Wasn't it a guy and girl, or they weren't brothers or anything,
They were
right?
brothers.
Yeah,
Okay, I was-
don't do that. That's a different
You gave
website.
You
Don't
gave
do
Jonah
it.
Hill. You gave Jonah Hill.
Moving on.
They meet. They find other spy.
They find other spies.
They
Yeah.
find another. Okay.
They
stick
find
with-
Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
They find. Yeah. They grow up and they find
Isn't
another.
that Frodo?
What?
Wait, was it the guy that played Frodo in Spy Kids?
Was he?
Yeah.
He might have been.
Yes, he
Elijah
was.
Wood?
Yeah.
Oh
Elijah
my
Wood. Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, he
Spy
was.
Kids 3D.
Return of the Ring.
So they find these spy. They need to do spy adults. They find another spy adult group, and they do some stuff.
Do you think somewhere deep down in the world there's a
And
spy multiverse?
hold on. They have to make this movie for one line. When they're about to do the deed, the other spy adult is like over top, about to do it, and he looks at the camera. He breaks the fourth wall and says, "We're not spy kids anymore."
I like that.
Yeah.
I like
So if you
that.
like that, click like, subscribe, do all that stuff. Next month we're going to do Game Awards stream. Check in on that next Thursday, December 7th. And also our podcast next month, we will be giving our Game of the Year, Movie of the Year, TV Show of the Year. So tune in for our final podcast of the year, December. Thank you guys for watching. Shouts out Spy Kids. Shouts out Facebook Marketplace, people trying to buy bikes.
Trying to sell their bodies.
Both are.
What's your price? Put it in the comments.
What are you buying?
What are you buying? What are you selling? Bye-bye.
Peace.